Check. I'm gonna turn the fan off. Mm, all right. Good morning, everybody. Kevin here. My name is Kevin. I am new here, building this channel, which I don't know if it's really something that it's to be built, or if it's just creating something that uh, is as close to your reality or my reality as possible, right? Um, I build I build things here, but the channel isn't something to be built. I think, in my opinion, it's something that I just want to resemble what I have. I think that that could be the thing that would help a lot of people if you struggle with building. If you're trying to build a brand or to build a channel, if you're trying, maybe it's the wrong approach than just being, right? You don't want to necessarily build a brand, you want to be your brand. Uh, you don't want to say your message, you want to be your message and let it just happen. Uh, and and I think that that's what I really kind of see here is that when I'm trying to make content for media, for advertising and to get the word out, I feel in that moment I'm trying to make something. I'm trying to say something, or trying to get something across. And in reality, it's just, you know, be yourself, say what you have to say, and don't make it more than it is, or don't try to make it more than it is. And that could take away the struggle to say what you believe, or to say your message, or to share your message. Maybe you don't have to share, you just live it. And and I think that all of these ideas are kind of what's helping me to move past the fear of trying to say something in order that you would like it, or that you would want more, or believe something, rather than just saying what I believe, and or what I think, and letting it just letting it happen. And so yeah, it's really difficult to put yourself in a position to share what you believe, especially when you're in an environment where you don't even know who you're talking to. And um and so I find that just not trying to say something or to get something out seems to be the easiest approach to moving forward and actually just saying it. Uh, when I came out here, I had no idea what to say. I was sitting here looking at the title, and what do you title something that you haven't prepared for? And it was in sitting there, even just thinking about the title, that I recalled the notion to fake it till you make it. And I was just like, I don't think that is the best approach. um Maybe the honesty is the best approach, to say, uh I don't know, and then uh therefore you may be you know helped to know quicker than trying to hide the fact that you don't know. So I think this question is going to stem on authenticity, right? Do you go into a situation and pretend that you belong there while you try to belong there, or do you just walk in and sit down and say, "Look, I feel like I don't belong here, right? Like, this is scary. Uh, we all want friends, we all want to be accepted." But then when you turn a camera on live, or you try to make social media content to reflect who you believe you are, um, at least the good in you, then that's what we do. We make content to reflect our good nature, as if we're faking the true nature, that we all got problems, right? We all have trouble. We all have shortcomings. And man, when I show up here and I go, I don't know what to say, and I don't know what I'm gonna say, but I believe that me being me is enough, right? I don't have to prove anything. I don't have to say anything. I could go outside and go for a walk and leave this streaming, and guess what? Everybody would leave because uh, nobody's here. But that's okay, right? That's okay. The instant you try to do something more than you know that you are, and then you go so far as to try to fake that, to try to get someone else to believe that you belong there, the fake, then I see that's probably where we build our image up in our head, right? That's the ego, the mask that we wear. That ego is what we put on to fake, uh, to deceive, really. And and uh, and I think where that ends up leading is the place where, what if you can't actually make it, right? Like, what if you set yourself up to you set that mask, or you build that ego to make people believe you belong, you know, as you're trying to make it, and then you can't actually fulfill the image. Like, you can't actually become that person because it's an idea, and ideas are perfect. You know, they're timely. They've got comedic timing and articulation and clarity and all the things that would go wrong. Oh, and I guess I would have to refute that, because some people, you know, their mindset is to see the problem, right? To see all the problems, and you know, so that certainly is true. But to put on the ego and to say, when I when I go, I will pretend until I don't have to pretend. But how much easier would it be to just walk in and say, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if I'm going to get nervous, or if my voice will crack or go out, or, you know, or something beyond my control takes place. Um, you set yourself up for trouble, I think. For years, I've, I've built this idea of, I'm going to, you know, I want to go live. I want to share my ideas and my thoughts, um, and the work, you know, the work that I have. It resembles it taught me this, you know, it taught me these lessons, and I want to share that. But every time I go to share it, or every time I have an idea, I take it and I write it down, or I make a quick, you know, video note. I make a note, I journal it, I archive it, because in my mind I go, wow, this is a really great idea, or this is a, you know, this is a, you know, a piece of coal that could potentially provide, you know, some value once refined. And I think to myself, I'm going to refine this and then put it out there. But, you know, you can't fake perfect. You can't fake perfect. You can't, you know, that day will never come. That day will never come. And I've said it before, and I'm sure I'll say it a lot, but, you know, I just decided that I didn't want to die with a notebook full of ideas. I didn't want to die with regret of not trying, and so I've spent many years trying to figure out, well, how do you make that step? How do I make that step to come to this place, to find comfort in sharing? And it's taken a number of years, a lot of study, a lot of research, a lot of introspection, and and uh, and then I knew it would take a lot of courage, and I just, you know, I never had the courage, never had the confidence, or I had the confidence in myself, but I just couldn't maintain that confidence. It just seemed so fragile in the face of real community and real communion. And so I just, you know, I just came to this place where I knew what needed to be done, and what needed to be done was, you know, to just take the mask off to the best of my ability, and to sit down, turn on the camera, and, you know, have no idea, and to go into it with no idea, and to let this happen. And it's a good feeling. It feels really good to overcome your fears, because then you find out that You know, there was nothing there to be afraid of in the first place, and um, and that's a good feeling. So here we are. It's Friday. When we began this, it was 2 weeks ago, a Friday, and we went live public for the first time, and it was there that uh, I turned it on and just sat and you know, you just don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know what you're gonna say, and I think for the most part, I didn't say anything. I just sat there, uh, and every day it got better, got easier. It got easier sitting there, you know, looking uh, baffled, and it got easier. And now I feel fine with it. My struggle today, I woke up and my real struggle today was the lack of control. I was just so upset with, you know, with all of my dispositions, my clothes, the summer heat. I mean, it's spring, but here the heat and the humidity is just already coming in, and to me, it's draining. Um, but yeah, you know, things that you can't control, and you want to control them, and the next thing you know, you fall apart. But once you let go of those things and live, you know, just live in the moment, you'll find that, you know, discomfort is okay. We'll still make it. So we are in the studio, 2 weeks of live streaming, building up our process, building up our story. We were able to get some projects moving, and this week we are just about finished getting all of our cups finished and polished up. And so as soon as I feel comfortable here, being, you know, saying what I'm going to say, or whatever I feel I need, then we'll maybe switch over and finish getting those cleaned up and polished, and then uh, maybe this afternoon we'll do some evaluating. So, uh, yeah, let me. I'm trying to think if I want to just keep work talking through, or if I should cut this one off and grab a new topic. Um, I don't know. It takes time for the algorithm to kick in and send people around. Many people come through, but uh, you know, trying to converse with a chat is, you know, it takes it's like a engine that needs to get started, and you got to prime that pump and, you know, try to get it kicked on. Ain't no thing. I don't know. Is it better to say I don't know or to lie? Fake. I think maybe the fake it till you make it is more of a heart motive, because between the individual that's, you know, uh, that doesn't know what they're doing and they're trying without trying to make it aware or apparent, versus the one that walks in and is trying and they don't know what they're doing, but they don't, they're not necessarily, like, I think they're honest with themselves, then I think on the surface you're going to have the same appeal to people that don't know what they're doing. But the motive of the one that is being honest, uh, I think that they'll have a lot less anxiety because they're not trying to cover up the fact that they don't know. So in the end, it may just be less anxiety. Uh, Build competence until you have your confidence. And the competence, I believe, would build faster if you're just honest with where you're at. Because then people will help. Good morning. Good morning. Is it better to say I don't know or to lie? The answer could be I don't know. Good morning. Good morning. 282. Is it better? Well, I think the last thing I was saying was um, the honesty of saying I don't know produces the same effect of fake it till you make it. But I would say that if you fake it till you make it, you're putting on an ego, right? You're putting on a mask to try to pretend that you know. And if you don't actually make it, then, like, if you don't actually fulfill that idea of your idea of that ego, of what it looks like to succeed, then you're kind of stuck in a predicament where if you just walk into the situation and live in the moment and say, I don't know, this is what I desire, this is a goal that I have, then it's easier to get started and probably grow. So my thought this morning was I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to do. This is new. For years I've worked up to this point, but perfection cannot be obtained, right? Ideas are perfect. And so if you have this idea that this is what my life is going to look like, or this is how I'm going to get comfortable in front of a camera, in front of, anyone, no one, everyone, then you build up an idea that you can never fulfill. And then for me, it just took, knowing that there's no faking, right? There's no faking it. Your fears, overcoming your fears. Like you just have to go for it. You just have to try. And the more humble we are going into that approach, I believe that's where we find success. And so this morning I'm sitting here thinking I'm gonna, the thought, fake it till you make it. And then I was like, no, no, that's not the idea. The vulnerability is, I think, the quickest way to make it. You just have to, you know, be comfortable. Be comfortable saying, I don't know, and try. This is our second week live streaming. We've done it every day for 2 weeks to start opening the studio up live. And to me, this is my comfortable space, right? This is my studio. I've been in here for so long, just thinking and dreaming and building and making. But in today's world, if you don't share, right? If you don't share that value, if you don't know how to share the value, then you're just alone in it. And I don't. I knew it wasn't right. It was self-fulfilling, but uh, nothing more. And so I wanted to go live and share my process. But every time I thought of the camera or thought of social media or thought of you, I, I just become so overwhelmed with fear and terror that, uh, I just never could move forward. And it was because I could not fulfill my own idea of perfection, right? That ego that I had was so large that I could not even come close to faking that manifestation. And then it took stripping myself of everything, turning on the camera and just, you know, sitting there, looking baffled. And every day I did, I got more and more comfortable with sitting and looking baffled to where, you know, now I actually have just a hinge of comfort, you know, and it's enough to just barely get into my mind space and to be able to have this conversation with you as a camera, looking at a camera. I'm staring at a camera lens, and to me, I value real so much that I just could never bring myself to see the value in talking to a camera. But time passed, and we build up our own walls and fears as it goes. And next thing you know, I'm afraid to turn on the camera. And then you realize the trauma, the fear that I never went after when it was happening. And then years later, you got a problem. And so here we are. We are unraveling, we're unraveling the fear of acceptance, rejection, image, fulfillment, egos, all of that. Thank you for asking. Mhm. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that second thought did not come through. I'm still like I said, I'm still learning all of this. Um, I spent a long time trying to work this out. I've got my camera finally running, and I've always been confined to my computer area. I bring my computer out here until I can get a dedicated system. But I just bought a 50-foot active cable, so I now have the ability to bring um, my camera anywhere in the studio. And so we've got a lot of ideas, and I'm just working through them live, learning live, and processing all of this live, and I'm making my own mistakes. I think a big struggle is we we see what someone else is doing or has, and we want that. Like we want that benefit, but the benefits come from accomplishing a goal, right? We perform tasks to accomplish a goal, and then the goal gives us the benefit. The the problem with trying to look at someone else's benefits and say, well, I want those benefits. So then we start copying their tasks, but we don't even know what their goal is, right? Like we don't even know what tasks got them to the goal to give them that benefit. And so we all start doing what we see other people doing, and that's what we do on YouTube, right? Or on social media, we watch other people do tasks, and then they have the benefit of doing those tasks, but we don't realize that each of us have to find our own tasks that work for us to perform those benefits, to give us those benefits. So, for instance, one person may want community, they might want a relationship, and one individual goes to the local bar, and another one goes to the local church, and another one goes to TikTok or social media. So it's like you can have the benefit of community by accomplishing many goals, many different goals. And so if you want the benefit of something, or if you see someone that is receiving the benefit that you want, it's good to ask them and to study what they're doing to get the benefit, what goals they're achieving, what tasks to get to those goals. But you have to remember that your life, your tasks, your skills are going to be different, right? So think of the benefit you want, and and try to think of what goal will give you that benefit that you can task, right? with your needs, with your skills, with your struggles, you know. And if you want a benefit strong enough, then and you don't have the skills for it, or you don't have the talent for it, then start learning, start pushing, you know. Just think of that, think of the goal that's going to give you the benefit, and just go for it. And 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 just be prepared to push, or modify. What helped what what helped me push forward in the last couple of months is the idea that um, prioritizing was my problem, not procrastination. I was really busy, like I wasn't getting my benefits, I wasn't fulfilling my goals, and I was just perplexed as to why. I was busy all day long. I was I was tasking myself silly. I had a million things to do, but I wasn't fulfilling my goals, and I wasn't receiving the benefits that I wanted. And I realized it was because as a perfectionist, I was I was I was making the goal too difficult, and I was over tasking it to be to be perfect. And so my problem uh, was not procrastination, it was prioritization. And once I started prioritizing properly, then I started knocking goals out, because I told myself, what is the fewest number of tasks necessary to get the goal accomplished, to get the benefit? And that changed everything, because before I was trying to have perfect goals, right? I wanted a perfect benefit. But the reality is you'll task yourself silly. And so, and so I just started saying, what is the fewest number of tasks necessary to get the benefit? And once I did that, uh, once I changed that mindset, the prioritization really came into focus, and I quit perfecting, because you don't need perfection to get a benefit, um, or at least maybe not in everything. Perfection has helped me tremendously in my artwork, right? Like, I'm not afraid anymore of being a perfectionist. I'm a perfectionist, and I'm a damn good artist. I love my work, and I love clay, and I want these pieces to be their absolute best, right? To That every piece has the confidence to stand on its own and say, I am whatever. And I've got no problem with that. It's what my work is. But in recognizing it, it allowed me to stop trying to be a perfectionist in everything else in my life. I now have the freedom to overwork my pieces, right? I overanalyze and I overwork, and I spend way too much time on these things, right? Like I and I think that's probably true with most artists. They put more value into their work, and most artists are they struggle. Like, they struggle with that value, because to them the piece is more important. Like, the expression is more important than you know some monetary exchange. And uh, and that's and that's not for everyone. And I would say that if you were to go out and reevaluate art, you'll see the difference between the creative business person and the artist. Um, and if there's someone that is both a creative business person and an artist, you know, they really shine. Any questions? Any thoughts? It's 10:36. My goal right now is to just hang out for an hour and talk and get comfortable. And I'm really happy with kind of where I'm at right now. Uh, I don't know if my everything is up to date. Can't see. Oh, there we go. Okay. Mm, yeah, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that we have been working on. I have I have put up a little board here that we're working through, and so I figured this. I'm going to try to figure out how to make this rotate into the mix. Today we're going to be finishing up the cups, and then we're going to try to analyze them because we have so many that are going to need to be refired, and we got to go find those so that we don't send those out. But yeah, we're gonna work on getting those polished and cleaned up and finished for the week. And right now we're just working through working through ideas. I thought the quickest answer would be I don't know. Do you know? Is it better to is it better to wear a mask, an ego, or to just be honest with not knowing? All of this, I think, hinges on authenticity and honesty, knowing who you are and what your disposition is at any moment, and living in that moment without trying to filter. I think the idea of faking something is If you fake something, you have to, like, that mask is the fake. And that ego, that mask that we wear, that is the trauma that we have to undo. Because if you want to live free, if you want to be free, freedom is inside your own mind. There are free people in prison, you know, and though they're behind bars, they're with, you know, peace with God. They're at peace with themselves, and and there are people out in the world that have no bars and chains. No one's telling them what to do, and they live in crippling fear. And we build that fear ourselves. And I think that it's because we fake it till we make it, right? Unknowingly, we walk into a room with silence because we would rather be perceived as as normal than to open our mouth and, I think the Bible says, remove doubt. Better to be perceived as stupid than to open your mouth and remove doubt. I don't know. Don't quote me on quoting. I think I remember someone saying 98% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Maybe that's the same for quotes. Is it better to say I don't know than to fake it till you make it? I'm perceiving that to be a lie. If you fake it till you make it, you're lying. Could I even fake it? Right? I'm new here. I'm new to live streaming. This has been a fear of mine for a long time. For years, I've built up this idea of what it would look like or what it needs to look like, and it just brought me to this place of never-ending torment of you can't achieve your ideas. You know, ideas are perfect, and we're not perfect. And so you have to have the idea, and then you have to dig it up in its crudest form, right? Like this whole ramble uh, thought process. Um, it's crude, right? Like so many fill words and redundancies. This whole idea could be wrapped up in probably a beautiful, powerful 15-second, uh, you know, idea. But that refinement, that refining process, it takes time and it takes energy and it takes skills that maybe you don't have. One person digs an idea up out of the ground and another person refines it. But in today's world, we want everyone to be able to just pump out refined ideas and polished content. Um, and I think that is just it's just unhealthy. It's unhealthy. It's inhumane to expect or to require people to be perfect. And I think we have a society full of people who are afraid to open their mouth for that reason. And I know I am, right? Like this terrifies me because what's going to happen tomorrow? You know, what am I going to say tomorrow or the next day? Um, to recognize that you don't have control over so many elements in our life, and to just be at peace with that fact that we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what we're going to say. We don't know what we're going to do. We think we might. We have things that we want to do. But when it comes to it, and all of a sudden the fear or the anxiety or the trigger or the trauma, like we're all triggered by something. And when that trigger happens, um, you know, the worst parts of us become exposed. And if we're afraid to expose those parts, then we'll never expose the good parts, or it'll be difficult to expose the good parts. And I think that that's what my artwork, I hope, showcases, is that if you want to appreciate the richest, most beautiful elements of individuality, then you have to accept the differences. And if there's a notion that one thing is better than another, then what you've done is you've created a system to where everyone is marching toward uniformity. We want to wear the same clothes. We want to use the same lingo. We want to, we want to look and do and have what others have. But in the end, you're going to lose your identity if you try to get rid of your differences, the things that you may think are mistakes. So it'd be better just to let yourself be you. Tape fidget. Fidgets. For the ADHD person, it's the closest thing to you that you can pick up. I could get closer. We could get personal. We could get real personal. We're going to. It's 10:48. Anybody else want to say anything? Share anything? I see somebody pumping up some faces. Anybody got something to say? Who's giving me hearts? What? Well, I'm happy to be here. This one today was a tough day. Yesterday I woke up with a lot of energy, really hopeful, maybe, well medicated and slightly hypomanic, whatever that means. And I didn't act on it because I didn't go at the time that I was prescribed to go. I was going to go on at 10 as I've been doing. And when I think it was like 9 o'clock and I was all set up to roll and I didn't do it. And then by 10, I had lost it. And so I said, well, I didn't go with the flow. So therefore, I learned, no matter how you feel, just roll with it. Today, I was really struggling with the control of all the various elements that I wanted perfect, and despite that, I started anyway, without knowing what I was going to say or do, and then we ended up here. So know what benefits you want, know what goals will get you those benefits, and then know what tasks the fewest and easiest number of tasks that you can do to fulfill that goal, to get those benefits, and to move on. Don't overtask yourself. Don't overtask. You know, if you have to learn a new task, you know, if you have to learn something new to get a task, you know, do that. But um, but always, you know, for every task you do, say, is this goal necessary? Is this task necessary to receive the benefit? But we thank you all for coming, and the few who shared. We're about to be getting started with our work, finishing up the last few cups. I've almost sanded the outer layer of my finger. It's quite sensitive right now, but I knew that was going to happen anyway. And we're just gonna get ready. Maybe I'll set my time and then I'll break and go get some breakfast. Hello. Is it better to say I don't know or fake it till you make it? We're highlighting this today because we walked out here and we had no idea what we were going to say, and then my first go-to thought was well, it's not my go-to thought, but my first thought was fake it till you make it, and instantly I just knew that that did not resonate with me, and so I said, all right, don't fake it till you make it. Well, what else can you do? You accept that you don't know, and you go, I don't know how to live stream. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know if I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to embarrass myself. I don't know. We never do, because we don't have control. And therefore, it allowed me to just put that title in, start streaming, and just be here. And so yeah, it's kind of a self, well, I think the answer to the question being I don't know is, I think, the funny one. I don't know. But I think it solves a lot of problems to just admit it, and then just move forward with uh, with what you do know, and that's that you want to know. And if you do that, then you will know. You just give yourself time. Agree, disagree, maybe so. Really, I'm trying to figure out, how do I converse with a chat screen? But you got to get people chatting first. All right, what time is it? 4 minutes left. See, is it really going with the flow if I'm gonna shut off at a prescribed time? Because if I run out of things to say, then I should have shut down 15 minutes in. But the benefit that I'm looking for is the confidence to be able to turn a camera on and go live without knowing what I'm going to say and responding with, openness and honesty with where I'm at, knowing that I could be wrong, but this is just where I'm at. And I think that's a really good message. I feel like that's a really good thing for um, anyone to be aware of, because then you remove the fear of trying to live up to your ego, the images and the ideas of the way we would like it to be. Because, like I said, ideas are perfect and we are not. And if we can accept that, then I think that our society would begin to decrease the anxiety that we get from socializing, because we're so afraid to make a mistake. And if we could just allow people to make mistakes, like every time someone does something that you don't like, just think, oh, they made a mistake. Oh, they made a mistake. It's okay. You know, they're trying. Would that be now would be an interesting thought, because would I be trying to impose something, a fake ego onto someone else? That actually kind of like kicks my head back into thinking mode. Um, if I don't want to fake it until I make it, and I want to be open and honest with the fact that maybe I don't know something as I embark on a journey of discovery, because it won't be discovery if you know it or if you've been there. Um, then would it be right for me to impose that idea or that image onto someone else, where if they did something that I didn't like, to credit them with the fact, or to credit them with the idea that they're trying to do it right, when in fact they could be trying to do it, the way that I don't like. And so, yeah, wow. Like, for instance, when you're driving in traffic and someone passes you or cuts you off or maybe skips turns, um, my first thought, used to be that of bitterness or anger, upset, to be upset. And now I just say, that's okay. They're in more of a hurry for a good reason. They're in a good reason to be in a hurry. They need to go, and I want them to go because they're speeding, they're passing, they're doing something dangerous. Let me move to make it safer for them, right? The opposite of road rage. It's someone is coming. Let me help them to be in a hurry. But maybe you can have that action without implying right motive on them, because that could be fake, right? To put that idea of to put that ego on someone else could mean that it's not. See, I don't even know how to formulate this. To to impose an ego onto someone else, the motive, to give them a motive when we don't know the motive of anyone, right? Two people give a homeless man $1 and their motives could be completely wrong. One could be because they really want to help the individual, and then the other person could say, I really just want to get rid of them, as quickly as possible. So we shouldn't impose motive on people. And we shouldn't fake the motive within ourselves. Um, okay, it is 11 o'clock. We've been faking it till we make it for 1 hour. Yeah, it's a good way to end. Fake it till we make it. We're doing our best to not fake it, and we have already made it, and that's the beauty to this type of surrender is you just start being you. You let go, right? If you climb up that wall, um, and you realize, oh, I'm at the wrong spot and I need to climb down. Sometimes the easiest and quickest way down is just to let go, but sometimes it is painful to trust that when you let go of the ego that you built, that um, that you're gonna catch, that you're gonna get catched or you're gonna make it. It's a scary place, um, but I'm gonna do it, and I believe in it. I believe that if I let go of my ego, that whatever happens, I'm gonna just be honest with who I am, and whether people accept it or reject it, it doesn't matter, because in the end of the day, you have to live with yourself. And I encourage everyone out there, all of you, to dig deep, know yourself. If you have to wear an ego, if you need a mask, many times they're to protect yourself, right? These things were created to protect ourselves from circumstances that we come across. Uh, that's fine, but just know who you are, and know that you have control of your ego and your image, and don't wear it out of fear. All right. I don't know you. I'm probably easy enough. I can say that I love you. I want the best for you, and I'm going to break. Go grab some food. Take a mind break, and then we're gonna come back out here and finish cleaning up these pieces, and hopefully we'll have all the cups done so we can analyze them today and go over them and check them out. Oh man, 2% left on my camera. All right, take care, y'all. Be well. We'll be back probably in less than an hour. See ya.